Hi, this is Patty from Homemakers Daily. Haven't done a video for a while because I haven't had anything to say. But I did want to show you the new format that I am playing around with. I realized that traditional formats are not really working for me right now because my life isn't very traditional. And I've said before that if you have a structured life, you should have a structured planner. And if an unstructured life, then an unstructured planner. And then I promptly forgot about that, and Lori at Plannerisms suggested that perhaps I should try an unstructured approach since my life is so crazy right now. So I've decided to give it a shot. So this is an example. Now I haven't been doing it too long, a couple of weeks, and I just switched to this classic size planner, so I do not have it all set up. So I'm not going to show you everything, just the daily pages. This is a Giada, a classic size Giada with 1.25 inch rings. My daughter had it before I did, and we've had it for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. It's been quite a while. So let's get started. Now you can see here on this page, I'm using plain paper. I do like the grid lines, but if I don't happen to have any of that, then plain paper is fine too. I just need plain paper and I'm good. So on this day, you can see here I have these sections of 5 things. Now what I did, sometimes I get overwhelmed or my day is really crazy and I don't exactly know what I can do, or I get stuck. So this 5 things a day is a strategy that I've used for years. What this is, I can't remember what was going on that day, but I made a list of 5 things that I could do right now. So I did those 5 things. When they were done, I made a list of another 5, and then another and another. And what that does for me is it helps me to get over the paralysis because I've made a list of 5 things. So I'm just going to do these 5 things. And usually I choose things that are pretty small and simple because usually I have something going on, overwhelm or whatever. And so I want to make it as easy as possible to mark things off. Because once I start marking things off and getting things done, then it builds momentum. So you see this strategy a lot, especially in this unstructured format. Over here, my daughter called. Here's my dinner menu. Another note about the family, David's schedule. Here I wrote what David did for work today. He's self-employed, and so we have to keep track of, details about what he does. So that was it. Oh, I made a few notes on this side. And this was a piece of paper I put in there that I had already written on in the past. Anyway, so here's some notes I wrote. Now on this day, you see I made a note about the weather. I put my schedule up at the top so I could see it clearly. I was going to the doctor's office for some blood work, so I made a big note to remind myself not to eat. And then I said, okay, these are the 3 things I'm going to really try to do today. They weren't exactly have to, or the world will end, but they were 3 things I really wanted to try to do. I didn't get them, these 2. I did make dinner. Okay, so that's how I started my day. My schedule, my big note here, and these were the 3 things I wanted to try to do. And then I did my 5 at a time strategy. And you can see that was a pretty busy day. I didn't end up getting a lot done. Now on this day, there's not much at all. I just started making a list of stuff I wanted to do. Here's my menu and a note that I liked, and that's it. I'm always busy, and I always, get things done, but you can see that I didn't get a lot of what I had planned. Okay, now on this page, this was the day we were having our Super Bowl get-together. We had some snow, which I recorded here. This was kind of the schedule. The kids were here. I put that there just to remind me that when they're here, I can't get as much done. This was our Super Bowl menu. Then here was some spending. David put gas in the car, so I wasn't sure how much it was. These were some other things I wanted to try to do besides the cooking. And then I wrote a note here of a couple things I needed to tell Rachel when she got here, and a couple of things I needed to talk to Ashley about when she got here. They're not marked off, but I did it. Okay, then we've got, on this day, again, some weather. Now, sometimes it's fun just to do something different. These 3 little circles were intended to be my priorities for the day. And I didn't even have a third one. Again, I had a lot to do that day. A doctor appointment, grocery store, and I did not get very much done. Now this day, this was a Monday, and on Mondays I'm usually home most of the day. So I made a bullet style list with a lot of things that I wanted to try to do. Sometimes when I have an empty day where there's not much else going on, I can waste it. So if I have a very long list like this, then it motivates me a little bit to see how many things I can get marked off. Now you can see that I really didn't get that many things marked off. I ended up with a lot going on that day. These were a couple of priorities, these things I circled, and I did not get these done. All right, and finally, on this day, this was my plan for the day. See that line? It did not happen, not at all. So I rewrote it here. This was the new plan. These were some things I really needed to try to do. I tried to do this one, sew this quilt top. It just didn't happen. And then I did my 5 things at a time. And I have a couple of notes here. And this L is something that I learned. And I do that sometimes. I'll put a little L. But anyway, that was that day. And what you can see from here is that every day is different. Sometimes I do 5 things. Sometimes I do a long list. Sometimes I don't do anything. Sometimes I do, 10 things. It just depends. Sometimes I have my schedule prominently. Sometimes it's an afterthought. It just depends on what's going on. And that's evidence that I do need an unstructured format, because I need to be able to structure my day, how my day is going to be structured, and not according to little boxes that are predetermined for me. Now, I do use the monthlies. I still have the monthly calendar in here. I will absolutely continue using that because I have to see the big picture too. I've always been a month and day on 2 pages kind of girl. And so I will definitely continue with the monthly. I got these day timer pages at Walmart. I don't really love them. I like the Franklin Covey better, but I suppose they'll work. I'm also, I think, going to predate my pages. I'm just going to number them. Nothing big, no month or year. I'll add that later, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through the end of the month. That way, if something comes up that I do need to write ahead and it's not appropriate to put it on my monthly page, then I'll just go ahead and turn to that page and put it on there. Then when I get to that page, if I don't want that on there, or if it messes up what I wanted to do, I'll just tear it out and put in a new one. No big deal. But it'll be there if I need it. And then at the end of the month, I will continue to do my monthly index. And all the systems have that. The Bullet Journal has it. DIY Fish has it. Franklin Covey. You know what it is. You make a list at the beginning or at the end of the month. You make a list of your important information in your pages so that you can retrieve it. I've written about that, and I think I've done a video too. So I will also do that. So it's really the same as what I've been doing in my Franklin Covey 2 pages per day. It's really the same thing. It's just that this page is different, but everything else will be pretty much the same. And so anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. I did switch to the classic size because you can see I like to write a lot. I like to write big. I don't stay on the lines. I never really have done that. I kind of like to do my own thing. And so, and I do, just for kicks, I do also add some other things, Here I've got some budget information. I wrote a post here. That day, that didn't turn out to be much. So I've also got some other things I might do in between pages. I like having the freedom of being able to do a lot of writing. I like to write. I like to write things down. So anyway, I'm going to give this a shot and see how it goes. And sometime in the next week or 2, I'll try to get this all set up and I will show you what I'm doing from start to finish. Because I do have some other things I'm trying, like utilizing these kinds of folders. And I have these tabs I got. And so I am going to be doing some little bit different things than I've done in the past. So I will share that soon. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you how I'm using these pages in case this is something that could work for you as well. If you would like to read articles about time management and other homemaking aspects, you can go to homemakersdaily.com. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.